Welcome, everyone. I'm here today to discuss the products today, the Ludaxx products. Um, it's kind of interesting, actually, just for me, because but before we were even a company, we were using the products for our own personal use, and to see it, being used by others, you know, starting to be all over the world, and it's quite an amazing thing to feel. It's kind of strange, but it's also exciting too in the same time because for me this stuff is so. I guess I've learned about it a lot in my life, but I hope that today I can give you a great overview of the products and more personally how I use it, because to me I believe when you see someone else how they use it, maybe you can apply it to your own life. But let me first discuss where the name comes from. For those of you who are new to hearing from Ludaxx, Lu stands for the family name, my last name. D for Daniel, A for Andrew, the two X's for the employees, Ludaxx employees, and the distributors. So we want to include everybody in the name. I thought that was like maybe it's kind of clever, but anyways, and then the crown is to us is a it's a symbol for us. So to hit the top. So okay, well that's me. Uh, I am one of the co-founders. But just a little bit about me. I studied at the University of Utah. Received my bachelor's there. I got it in health, education, and promotion. And it's kind of interesting to apply it to what I'm doing today and what I was studying then because um, a lot of it's similar, but there are some things that are a little bit different. And what I mean by that is they don't do as much individual ingredients like that. So I have to go on my own time to do it. But as a holistic view of health, I really enjoyed going there. And just maybe a little bit about me, you'll know that I'm a pretty health conscious person, but in the same time, I like to live my life. But I hope today that you will um, learn more about the products about how I do it. Now, this slide I find very interesting. I carefully wrote everything one of these things, and actually, it's really here today because I wrote this because this applies to me. And I like to ask myself these questions, and I hope that you will ask the same questions. And all of these apply to how I feel. And so I asked myself the first question is, why do you take the Ludaxx products today? And I hope today that you will find uh, a different approach to health. I realize that a lot of people feel like they need to look good, they need to be slim, they need to lose the weight to be healthy. Some of that may be have some truth to it. I want you today to think a little bit more about your inner health. Okay, not outside. Okay, how you look. I want you to concentrate being healthy inside first, and then you can start concentrating outside. But think about the choices that you make today and what you can do today. Okay, so why take Ludaxx products? Better health and vitality, improve health over time. Now, when we talk about a quality of life and improving health, I don't really enjoy um, trying to make somebody change their lifestyle. I want to improve their lifestyle. I want to improve their health. I want to improve whatever you're doing. I don't want to change anything because we all know somebody we want to change, but we never. It's very difficult to change them because, well, I mean, for various reasons. But and people are people, and we don't like to change. It's very difficult. So, for me, my health goal, and I hope today, when you ask somebody the same thing too, when you're trying to share with somebody, you can instead try to encourage them and to improve their lifestyle instead of changing it. I think that's a different view. People don't like being told what to do all the time. So that kind of plays into the future prevention of illness. Um, at Ludaxx, our primary goal here is not to cure or treat anything. So if you ask me anything like that, I will. We're not here for that. We're here today to improve your health. All right. We're here today to make you stronger, to make you feel more like you have more control of yourself. All right. So I hope that taking the Ludaxx products will, improve your health in the future. All right. Now, what makes the Ludaxx products unique? These were carefully selected, and I wanted this to be more about than just products. I wanted it to be about also on the health side and your personal life, but um, it's balance, harmony, and success. And I hope you're here today and this kind of plays into it, is that I hope that in every single way in your life that you will find these three traits, because they're very relative to success is very relative to some people, but I hope that you feel that, not someone else's standards, and hope that you feel some harmony, whether it's your body or your life, or some balance. Okay, I hope all these things will that will make you feel like that. So for me, what makes the Ludaxx products unique is, I feel that way. Is that if I'm healthy, I feel like I can be more successful in the things that I do outside of health. Okay. Now, why are you here today? I know that you're here today to learn more about the Ludaxx products, but uh, I hope that at the end of this presentation that I will inspire you to share these products with other people, not because they've made a difference for you. And this comes back to the same thing. The reason why I'm here today is because I want to be that example for everyone and myself, and that's why I try to do. That's why I make the choices I do. Is that I want people to look up to me. I want them to ask me, hey, what are you doing? What did you change? You look different. And to me, that makes me feel good. And I think you'll feel the same way too. And people will come to you uh, if you are trying to improve yourself. So, and it comes back to another good quote. I thought it was kind of good. I know that we talk about change and improvement, but I thought this quote was pretty good. If you're looking for results, you'll never find change. But if you're looking to change, you'll find results. And I know that we're talking about improvement, but I think that kind of sticks with you still, regardless. Uh, I thought that I thought that was very clever. So I hope that you can maybe think that way too. Now, before we get into all three of these products, I want to discuss a little bit about um, the thing we call the when we're talking about diseases and illnesses, there are different ways that they're developed. So some of them happen over a long period of time or chronic, and some of them happen over a short period of time. They're or acute. Okay, so there's acute illnesses and chronic illnesses. So maybe today when I explain all these products, you can kind of apply it both ways. Okay, and what I mean by that, applying it is just improving what you're doing, and maybe it can apply it that way. So when I talk about chronic, we'll take a type 2 diabetes, maybe for example, or heart disease. These things happen over a long period of time because of the choices that you've made. They're usually lifestyle choices. Now, I know that there's some genetics that play in, but you get the main idea. Most of the time, um, they're lifestyle choices. Now, acute, or the short term, you can kind of think of getting a cold, something like that. So, what can you do right now to maybe help prevent a cold or help reduce the symptoms of a cold? Okay. So, I want you to think like that. What can I do right now? Maybe that can help prevent that or reduce that. Okay. So, let's get into every one of these products right now. So, F21 is our sugar blocker, Pearl is our antioxidant defense, and Conley T. And each one of them is tackling uh, what should I say, specific problem. So, and we'll get into that detail. So F21, let's first I'm going to tell you what the name comes from. The name stands for formula F21. So it's actually formula 20-to-1 ratio. So for every gram of F21 that you take, our goal is to block up to 20 grams of sugar. All right, and I'll discuss, how this is a sugar blocker and why it is, and why we believe it works, and um, also just keep in mind that when we're talking about sugar, I'm only talking about one kind of sugar. I'm talking about sucrose, and then we'll get into that. But what is the sugar blocker? What ingredient is doing what? And that's what we're going to get into. We're going to kind of break it down a little bit, and that leads into first let's discuss about some of the benefits here. There's just some basic benefits and of taking F21. This is the tablet, by the way. This is what it looks like. So when I say 1 gram, you need to take at least 2 tablets to get to 1 gram. Okay, and I'll discuss why this is an antioxidant immune system support. And it's kind of funny. A lot of people will just recognize F21 as a sugar blocker, and that makes sense because on the box it says all natural sugar blocker, but it's actually more than that too. And we'll get into that. So what ingredient is the sugar blocker? It's actually L-arabinose. L-arabinose, if you studied a little bit biology, you'll know that usually words with OSC in the end, they're usually sugars. So it's kind of funny, a sugar blocking another sugar. But really, L-arabinose is really interesting, the science behind it. But this is not metabolized in the body. Okay, so L-arabinose is not used in that way. Actually, L-arabinose helps prevent sugar from being metabolized, and I'll tell you how in a minute. But I just find that very fascinating. That, geez, I mean, Mother Nature gave us a sugar that blocks a sugar. I find that very, very unique. Cognac mannan, we're talking about appetite suppressant. This is actually quite well known within the research world, especially when we're talking about helping diabetics. This ingredient has been quite well known to maybe help reduce some glucose and insulin levels. But essentially, what's going on in this picture is that when you ingest water and then when cognac is present, they form kind of a gel-like and kind of expand. So it makes you feel a little bit more full in that sense. So this is the fiber. It's very, very interesting to think about. Okay, so when we're talking about antioxidants, I'm talking about polysaccharide crestin, or PSK. So at the end of this presentation, if you're really interested, I highly encourage you just type this in Google and just read about it a little bit. You'll find nothing but positive things because it's very good for you. But you'll find that actually in Japan, they use this for chemotherapy treatment to help reduce the symptoms of going through the chemotherapy. And you feel like, wow, I mean, that's amazing. Food is doing that. And yeah, I mean, to me, it's quite extraordinary that, how food can heal you. But essentially, we'll get into what this talks about when we talk about Pearl, the antioxidant. But I just want to throw this out there just a little bit. PSK is actually very beneficial for you. So a lot of people kind of, maybe I won't say they downplay that portion of F21, but I like to emphasize it because just a little bit is actually very effective. And I hope that you will accept that. Let's move on here. Okay, so earlier I said that we'll discuss what happens in the body, why it's a sugar blocker. Oops. And I want to show you, I want to go through this process here. So move your eyes over here to this normal process, all right? Sugar, or sucrose, let's just name it sucrose, okay? Sucrose is actually made up of 2 different kinds of sugars. It's actually made up of glucose and fructose, all right? So you see these 2 circles, right? Now, the body cannot use it in this form. It needs to be broken up by an enzyme called sucrase. Sucrase is produced in our body when it knows that sucrose is in there. So sucrase will come up. Just think of it as a scissor, cut it in half. Now it's in usable form. Okay, and then you can kind of see in the picture here now that this is our bloodstream, and now it can be used, okay, to be used by our cells. Okay, so you can kind of see this blown up picture here. They're going in, okay, here, and they will be used. And we know that really, so when we're talking about, what's the problem with sugars, and I hope you have an open-minded, not just sugar makes you fat and it makes you look bad. It's more than just that. Actually, added sugar can be very toxic to your blood, and throughout your whole body. It can cause all kinds of problems. So you already know type 2 diabetes, right? But actually, it can contribute more than just diabetes. It can actually contribute to obesity or hypertension. Okay, and all of those things are kind of like chronic diseases. Not always, but I'm just saying usually. All right. So realistically speaking, we don't really need added sugar. So earlier I mentioned, uh, maybe I didn't mention it, but about natural occurring sugars. Okay, so we'll get into that maybe at the end of this section. But let's talk about what F21 does. So move your eyes over here. F21 actually, if you want to know what F21 does in just one, in a nutshell, it inhibits sucrase. Okay, so by inhibiting sucrase, now sucrose, remember what I said, it can't be digested in this form. So the body will just continue to move along in the digestive system through your small intestine to your large intestine. Okay, so just keep moving on. It won't be used. So that brings up a really good frequently asked question, is that if it is blocked, will it still count towards calories? So the question is no, because it wasn't used as energy. So keep in mind that when we count calories, that means it was used as energy, all right, for our cells. Now, we went pretty quick here over these three steps here through this diagram, and I'm sure you've been looking at it, but really, this is the most important thing here. F21 inhibits sucrase from separating the sucrose molecule. Now, here's a good example. I know that we're throwing out all these enzyme names and they get kind of confusing, and sometimes you get frustrated about it. But let's just take another sugar example. Let's talk about lactose. Many people know what lactose intolerance is. Usually, most of the time, actually, lactose intolerance means that they don't produce the enzyme or not enough of the enzyme lactase. So they have all kinds of issues. Fortunately, uh, this sugar will be used for something good, sucrose. Okay, and I'm going to explain that. When we were talking about moving on to through the rest of the digestive system, we're talking about prebiotics. So the F21 and the sucrose that were not used are now prebiotic. They now have the potential to feed the probiotics. Okay, I'm sure they don't look like exactly like this, but um, I find that really fascinating. Is that even blocking the things, we can still use it for something good. But there were actually a lot of research that suggests L-arabinose and sucrose, once it blocks it, they create a short chain fatty acid to be used. Okay, so they're kind of used as dietary fibers that actually may help our colon. So you may think of that, just the side benefit. Just remember, we're not here to treat or cure anything, but something fun to think about. Okay, now this is my favorite product here at Ludaxx, because really this is the product that was used before. It was a company. I used it more than anything, and we didn't use it in this form, but we used it in a powder form. And to be honest with you, these ingredients have been used for thousands of years, and I find that so fascinating that you know today not many of us know about it, but it's been used so much in the past, and it helped so many people. And actually, some of these ingredients were used by the emperors of China, and maybe that was the reason they live that long. But no, I don't know. But it's just kind of fun. Okay, we have 5 ingredients within Pearl. These are all mushroom based. That's really what you need to know the most about the ingredients, that they're all mushroom based. So if you're wondering where they come from, that's where they come from. But to me, what makes this very different than other antioxidants is that these actually take years to make, or to be what they are, to grow into what they are. It actually takes up to 5 to 7 years. And most companies, I won't name anyone, but not that their product is not working, but it's not as potent as a wild grown. Ours is wild grown. And you'll find that theirs is kind of more grown in the greenhouse and um, more seasonally or yearly. It's a little bit different, just so they can kind of get it out. But our ingredients have to be wild grown, or they wouldn't be what they are. So I think that's a very unique thing about Pearl, is that actually these are very rare. Um, so sometimes I even feel guilty that I take more than I should for my own personal use. But um, so what we recommend you right now at the moment is to take 4 tablets. Okay, so these 4 tablets will help you through daily. But sometimes I take up to 8, 12, 24, and we'll get into that. Okay, what is Pearl? What does Pearl stand for? So I have these pictures here that we created when we were developing some of the marketing materials, and I wanted it to. It may be kind of selfish for me, but I kind of wanted it to what was my personal testimonial, and what it related to me and how you can apply it. And I have some maybe some good examples for you that you can remember this. So, power, energize, anti-age, rejuvenate, and life. All right. Now, let's skip over, let's just talk about antioxidants for a little bit. I know that it's a very saturated field in terms of its benefits, and I know it's been marketed like crazy, but let's be honest here, antioxidants are still very good for you. No matter how much we saturate, promoting it, it's actually very beneficial for you. And I'm going to explain a little bit that so you can kind of understand why you still need antioxidants. Because okay, let's take for example, you're exercising, and I like to exercise, and let's when you're exercising, you're breathing more, right? You have more oxygen going in. That means you have more potential for oxidation happening. That means uh, you're actually producing more free radicals in your body, and by doing that, you need to eliminate them. Actually, they're not. You have too much. So think about it this way: when you're normally just being you. Let's say you don't even do any other activities. You need to think about what you normally need to support your body. But if you're doing something else, other activities, you're going to need more than what you are normally doing. Okay? So this is a good example. You're going to need more antioxidants. Okay? You're going to need to take more in to compensate for all that damage that's happening. Okay? So I thought maybe a good example was this guy. It looks like he's pumping some iron, right? So he's probably going to need a little bit more of other nutrients, okay? Other macronutrients. He's going to need more than just the average person to support that, okay? So it's kind of a second life. He needs to support that. And that kind of plays into energy, you're breathing. But I thought another good example of anti-age, how antioxidants work that way is um, I don't want to. There's no political stance here, but let's just take the presidents of the United States. You'll know that you look at them when they first took into the Oval Office. Their hair color was much more alive, and then by the end of it, they're turning gray, and their face is you can tell that they've been stressed out, and you know that most leaders will actually trend that way because they're so stressed out. They're making decisions every day, and So it's pretty important that they, that's a whole nother, even though, maybe they're not doing activity, it's still another life they have to support, the stress. Okay. So anti-age works that way. That's what antioxidants do. They try to eliminate free radicals from damaging the body. Free radicals actually can speed up the aging process. Now, rejuvenating life, this is kind of, we put that in there just your overall immune system health, your overall health, and you'll benefit no matter who you are. Antioxidants are very important. Now, another thing that makes Pearl very unique is that it's not just about providing nutrients for the body. So just from the foods, Pearl will actually work to help your body produce existing antioxidants, the ones that you're already producing in your body. Your body's actually already producing some. So we want to work both that way. Okay. We want to find that balance. We want to help you produce your own and provide some too. Now, you can see over here I put where free radicals may come from: sun exposure, chemicals, pollution. But we always forget one, and I left it there on purpose, not there, because it's stress, like we're talking about. Is people always forget about that, where free radicals and stress is really one of the biggest contributors to free radicals. Okay, so hopefully I can make sense to you what's really going on in the science portion here, and I'll make it as simple as possible. Free radicals are basically any molecule or atom. They have an unpaired electron here. Oops, if I can get my mouse. And they're constantly looking for the other pair to satisfy. Okay, so when they don't have one, they're actually very unstable. So they'll actually go search around for another electron. Okay. Now, if they don't, um, if they, once they have it, they actually cause a chain reaction. They keep stealing. So antioxidants will actually donate an electron here, and then therefore it will help stabilize the cell. Okay. So if the cell doesn't find it though, it can cause some damage, and it can actually cause some cell death. So I thought a good example, maybe just kind of for fun, is when you go outside in the sun, your body's producing a lot of free radicals, and you get a skin damage, right? So your skin's red, it's peeling, and you killed your skin cells, and so and you actually produced a lot of free radicals, and you got it from them, from the sun and the radiation, and uh, that's really, a cute example of it. Okay, so when we're talking about anti-aging, this is over a long period of time. Remember, chronic, the presidents in the office, and it wasn't just one decision made them go gray. Well, maybe for some of you it might, but usually it's a many different decisions that they make all over a long period of time of doing the same thing. They've been stressed out. Okay, Conley tea. Now, there are 30 packets in here. This is a month's supply. Same thing with Pearl's a month's supply. Um, this is a herbal tea, and this is a cleansing and nourishing tea. And I'll explain why we put cleansing and nourishing. And you today, I think many of you have heard about cleansing teas, but most of them leave out the nourishing. And to me, it comes back to the concept of yin and yang. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. And it's this balance, okay? So if you're just taking everything out, not giving anything back to the body, it might be like, how to say, too yin, or is it too young? I can't remember. I'm sorry. But I think it's too young if you take everything out. But the concept is that you want to, if you take something out, give something back. All right? That's the main idea I want to point out to you. So there are two things that make Conley quite unique. The first thing is the phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are plant nutrients, and these these are actually becoming much more popular because they're studied more and they know the health benefits of them. But really, as a holistic view, phytonutrients will, boost your immune system, help you protect you against other things, like bacteria and viruses. They may help you defend. They may help you feel like how to say, they may help you feel like your body's building up this army of, ready for intruders. Okay, and so like when you are being under attack by something, your body is ready. Okay, so maybe you get a cold. It's the same thing with Pearl. It's got fighting news. Maybe you get a cold, and um, you know maybe you didn't prevent it, but you can reduce the symptoms. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Now, adaptogens. This is an interesting thing. There are three traits that have to be present for them to be an adaptogen, and I find that very fascinating because if one of them is not in there, if one of these traits are not in there, it's not an adaptogen. Okay, so the first thing is it must try to help the body come back to homeostasis, or come back to this balance. And what I mean by that is not the sense that if you're stressed out about something that it'll solve the problem. What I mean by that is it maybe help you cope with the problem. All that pressure that you had, and to me, that's how I look at it, and I think that's how you should look at it. It's not Conley T is not saying it's going to solve your problem, everything, but it's going to help you cope with that problem, maybe help you solve that problem. Okay, and the second trait is it has to be non-toxic. Okay, so what that means is that um, at certain doses, or even larger doses, um, it's not going to be toxic for you. Your body's going to be able to handle it. All right. Third trait is it needs to benefit the body as a whole. So it's not just targeting one specific area in your body, or one part of your body. It has to try to help the whole body. Okay. Now, what can you expect from Conley? Is that you're going to get 12 herbs. Okay, so I'm Chinese. I've had many different kinds of teas, and I've I've seen many different prices, and you'll find that just having one ingredient, or this one right here, it will cost the same prices that we're selling it to you right now. And so, if you're wanting the best tea, the most healthy tea out there, here it is. I can guarantee you right now that, like for example, this ingredient down here, jiaogulan, this is very popular and this is very beneficial for you. And you won't find it anywhere else for this kind of price. I guarantee no one can beat it with all these ingredients. So here's something funny. We're talking about acute benefits and everything. And so if you're taking Conley tea, I would say maybe 80-90% people experience this. They have to go to the bathroom, pretty soon after drinking it. And that's because this koik seed, but there are other ingredients that are helping out too. But basically, it's actually expelling the toxins already. You're already cleansing yourself. Okay? And toxins in general, our body can handle some, and it actually cleanses that all the time. Your kidney, your liver, and your heart, your circulatory system is going through. But the nourishing part is that we want to help those vital organs already do their job even better. Okay, so we put this, the nourishing blend and the cleansing blend, and they're both in there. And it was very important for us to give something back to the body and not just take out. And I didn't really like that idea, either. So we're gonna, nourish the vital organs, liver, kidney, and the heart. Okay. Um, oh, we discussed some of the benefits here, but um, let's discuss a little bit about what you can expect taking Conley over a long period of time. You can expect more. Your immune system is going to feel like it's ready for things. You're going to feel much better resistance to handle your stress, your anxiety. You're not going to feel as tired. And there's some people that always, no matter what they do, they always look tired. And I think you're gonna experience something like that. And also, by cleansing out the toxins, you can actually experience some very little weight loss too. So I don't like to promote it that way because not everyone's gonna get it, but you may. All right. Oh, and the name comes from it's actually Chinese. Kan means healthy, and Li means beautiful. And I know it's a little feminine, but uh, I'm sure the men need it as well. All right, so today we discussed very basic of everything here. We talked about sugars, free radicals, and toxins. And and just so you know, the way that I apply it, for example, Conley, the way I take it. Actually, let's just start with F21. The way I take F21, I take 2 tablets. Depending on what you're eating, you can kind of actually, you can do 3 or 4, but take it before your meal. All right, you want F21 ready down there, so when sucrase is being produced, F21 is there to track it to that instead of sucrose. Okay, so take that before. Pearl, I do 4 tablets. I recommend you start with 4. And um, I've taken up more than that just because, like I told you before, I do more things that other people don't. So I just say experiment a little bit. Do 4 first, okay? And you can do it really any time of the day. But I personally like to do it maybe in my lunchtime or in the morning. But sometimes I do a pre and a post workout thing. Just depends on my day. Now, Conley tea, I like to do hot tea. You can use the tea packet twice in a Ludaxx bottle. I highly recommend you to do hot tea, just because the warm temperatures actually expel the nutrients out better. And even the cold may do it, but you're gonna have to wait a little longer. But if you want to just do it really fast, I at home I just kind of boil some water, let it cool down, and put it in. So that's what I do. All right. Now, I want to give you guys the chance to ask me a question and I can try to answer it. You may contact me at daniel.lu@ludaxx.com. That is daniel.lu@ludaxx.com. If you have a very specific question or something like that or concern, you can contact customer service as well. Um, but we're here to help you guys. We're here to support you, and it's important for me for you guys to understand about the products, and it's important for me for anyone that's looking to improve their health. Take a look at this and kind of avoid the whole. Let's get into more about the quality over quantity. So, um, I always believe quality food is much better than quantitatively. So uh, to me, that makes more sense. And I wish you guys the best. So I'm expecting to hear some messages, and hopefully, I will see you guys on the cruise in March. It's actually coming up really soon. I'm pretty excited about it. But most of all, I'm actually really excited to the people I've been talking to in email. If I see them on the cruise, I can actually finally meet you. I know that telephone and email is not the same. So anyways, I wish you all the best of luck and health, and stay tuned, and I'll give you more updated stuff. Thanks.